So this tree we treated how long ago, would you say?
Yeah, November.
November. Yeah.
Yep. So imagine having a job where you get to work in a place like this. So that's my job. Love it. Yeah, so we treated this in November. I was here a month or two ago, and again, it was just flowering like
Crazy.
almost concerning.
Yes.
Right? That's why
I actually brought you out
Yeah.
to check.
Like, too many flowers. What's wrong with it? It's having so much fun. It got fertilized.
It got frisky.
There's poison oaks here. So we want to cut a lot of these suckers out, right?
Yeah.
I didn't come prepared to do that today,
Okay.
but
But that's just good to point. So any of these suckers that are growing here are taking away energy from the tree.
exactly. And they're also ladder fuel. They're a fire hazard. So if a fire did come through here, a healthy ground fire would be great for a lot of these trees. But as soon as it moves into the canopy, it's not so good. So this is ladder fuel that we want to reduce.
And so can you speak to that for just a second? So a lot of what we're doing is fire mimicry, right?
Fire mimicry, right. We're creating conditions. Basically, all these forests were grown in savanna-like conditions. Even a lot of the redwood groves had large areas of grassland separating the trees. Pretty much all the forests here were in some state of savanna-like existence. So that's the model. When you see these closed canopy dense forests, those were rare back in the Native American times. So that's what we're going for. And now by going in and cutting and clearing, that's one way to do it. And fertilizing, that's the way to kind of get back to a point. But eventually, we're going to need to reintroduce fire into these landscapes. And we've already talked with Christy about places that could be burned around the trees, around the other madrones. I don't know about burning in here, but who knows? Maybe in another 50
Yeah.
years when we get it down, we could just just do a nice little torching around here.
And
So-
normally, Lee, that fire would take care of all those suckers on a regular basis,
those
right?
suckers would never have started in a fire. You wouldn't get moss build up, lichen build up in the canopy. And also keep in mind, fire is what controls the insect pests and the diseases. Fire is really important for reducing tick populations, for instance. One of these, and the fact that there's been a lot of work recently on how the explosion in tick numbers and diseases is quite closely linked to fire ecology or the change in fire ecology. So fire is really beneficial. It alkalinizes the soils, and these soils are acidic, and they need to be alkalinized.
And so what are we looking for? So we treated this tree in November.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we looking for as signs of, hey, the tree is liking what we're doing? So we talked about it had tons of flowering.
Yeah, tons of flowers. That's the first early evidence. I'm going to reserve the answer to that question later today when I come back at the same time of day I was here in November, roughly, because it's a different time of year. But still, I'm going to try to get the same light conditions as my photographs in November. And then I'll put the side to side, and what I'll look for is density of the canopy, how much light I see coming through the canopy. And usually you can see that clearly one way or another.
Great. So I'd say this one, I'd love to retreat again, if you think that's appropriate.
Yeah, yes.
This is our favorite tree on the property.
So
We even gave her a little elbow over there to rest. She was tired. And how old would you guess like a madrone like this is, Lee?
This is pollarded too, so this is hundreds of years old. A lot of the madrones, some of them they pollarded it up high. A lot of them they just pollarded right at the base, so you have multiple stems coming out. They did that with some of the oaks here too. I saw.
Yeah. So that's how they just cut it right to the ground, and that's why we have this giant
See how it
multi-trunk.
sprouts from the base. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't need to cut it up high. Oaks don't tend to do that.
Yeah. Cool.